This is a conversation with Anthony Joseph. He's the CEO of Prime Stay, Associate Director of Provident Real Estate, and producer and host of the popular YouTube series and podcast, Dubai Stars. He's a realtor, investor, entrepreneur, salesman, and podcaster. In this episode, we discuss his journey growing up in Beirut during the Civil War, real estate, investment, and how to be a good salesman. This is no time. Remember the name, said no one ever. But if you like what you see, then do subscribe on YouTube. Follow this channel on Spotify or rate 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to make a donation to this project so that it continues, then you can do so on Patreon, and I will write you love letters for the rest of my life. For other forms of love and support, you can follow this channel on Instagram or Twitter, or follow me personally. And now, it is no time. Guy Ritchie once said that when I'm wearing a suit, I'm owning the suit. And I don't mean buying the suit, but I mean owning the suit. And everything I've seen of you, even today, you're always dressed very sharply. What do you think is the impact of a good suit?
Listen, the way I see it is like people, when they meet you, they don't know your personality immediately. So once you wear proper clothes, it's not only you respecting yourself, but you're respecting the people that you are meeting them. It gives a very good first impression. It gives credibility. It gives you the feeling that you are a serious person and you are here to do business. You're not just like taking it like that. So for me, suits are sacred. Okay, the appearance it's very important, and it made a huge difference in my life. And even if you want to see it, unfortunately, like in our society, this gives you the respect. Okay, and I can give you an example. Like I can give you now any standard car even, and I'll tell you roll in the car in the street, and you'll see no one will look at you. And then when you're gonna drive a very nice or decent car, everyone's like, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah, all the time.
So, so it's not like I'm saying even if you are financially not in a great situation, but what you need to do is always look proper and sharp. The hygiene is also very important. I remember I even 2 days ago, even not like long time ago, I was meeting a guy, and this person was telling me I want to invest $10 million in the country. But the guy didn't, like, he smelled very bad. Like in a way I couldn't even speak into him. So I told him, okay, I got your idea. How about let's meet another 2 days when you finish your workout, have a very nice
Take a
shower
shower.
so you are freshen up, and then call me. I will come meet you so we can discuss it furthermore and take it ahead. So yeah, this stuff are very important. Hygiene, the looks, this is like comes first before anything.
So even beyond sales, just in life in general, looking good can have a lot of advantage for you.
It makes a huge impact in your life.
Because
Yeah.
there is this culture, and I am quite a part of it, which says that, oh, I'm going to be comfortable. Oh, I'm going to wear shorts. I'm just going to wear this. But
You can, like, for me, like, people think I'm bipolar. In the morning, I'm always suiting up. In the evening, if you see what I'm wearing, I look like a beggar.
yeah.
But why? Because I'm tired of wearing the suits, 7 days a week. Even Fridays, I wear the suits. I meet lots of people. So, yeah, in the evening, I need my comfort. I can put on like a short, a t-shirt, it doesn't matter. But end of the day, I'm spending this time with my family, with my friends who knows me. So I can be like really comfortable. But when it comes to doing business, of course, you have to look very sharp.
It creates a difference. So it gives you a sense of authority, or people think that you know what you're doing. Even for people who don't know what they're doing, you obviously do.
Let's say it makes you look professional. let's keep it under professional. I wouldn't give it authority. It's a very big word
Sure.
for your suit. But yeah, looking professional is very important in this industry and any other industry.
Yeah, maybe I should start wearing suits now from the next episode. Okay, so let's talk a bit about your journey. So you were born in Beirut, and you grew up in the Lebanese Civil War. And I believe you grew up, you were living in this sort of bomb shelter of some sort.
Uh, I was born in the States,
Oh, right.
in the States, and after a month, the family moved to Lebanon.
Okay.
During that time, there was the civil war in the country that started, I think, from the 1975 and ended in 92. So I was born in 85. And when we went there to Lebanon, I wasn't actually living in a bomb shelter. I was living in the basement of the building that people used as a shelter.
Right.
Okay, so we were like almost 30 families that all lives in this building, living in the basement. and we were all, yeah, so we stayed there from 85 until ceasefire, which happened in 1992. Yeah, so the first 7 or 8 years of my life were in a basement.
You mentioned that one of the games you used to play was get outside and start picking bullets.
Yeah, so there was like few time when all of the parties that were doing this war agreed for a day or two ceasefire. And yeah, this was our game. So we go out from there and we start like collecting this bullet shells, and whoever collects more, he will win. And we used to come home, and then all of our moms go crazy, and I was like, what are you doing? This is very dangerous and stuff. So yeah, when it came to the childhood, it was a very, let's say, dark and gray area, because like imagine being a kid, like now we see kids, they're playing with their iPads, with their PlayStations. Nothing is enough. They want to go to parks. They want to do this and that. Birthday party stuff. For me, I didn't like when I was growing up. All what I was hearing is like people crying. Didn't even understand why. You know what I mean? And just like being in this place, it was very dark. It was a basement. It's not like something. It wasn't like a as you say, somewhere to raise kids. So yeah, it was very very tough at this period.
So just to clarify, so what, we don't wish this upon any child, but knowing that you went through this actually made you the person you are today, and it shaped your personality in a way that you can have a lot of success today, or you have developed these right traits because of it.
The way I see it, it really helped shaping the person I am today. Why? Because if I could have survived this, I don't think there's any issues. Like even in my day-to-day life, when I see people telling me that they are sad or miserable, and I'm just trying to, like, why? And they tell me, okay, I was about to close this deal, and then the deal fall apart, and now I don't know what to do. So I look at them, I'm like, really, like, this is making you miserable or sad? Like, there's people, like, you live, sorry, with all due respect, like, you are living in Dubai, where it's one of the most safest cities in the world, the most developed cities in the world. We have everything in here. You know how many people wake up every day hearing bombs, hearing bullets, and that's our surrounding in the Middle East. Let's not go far. Like how many countries surrounding us have these issues? People are just like wondering how they want to bring water, how they want to bring food. Like people wondering, like, if I will sleep now, would I wake up tomorrow? Like all of these people living this misery, and you are in here in one of the best places in the world, and you're still feeling miserable. So yeah.
It definitely throws a lot of perspective. Also, I believe, apart from your childhood, which was, I mean, there were a lot of challenges. Even when you moved to Dubai for the first month, I believe you were just surviving on 10 dirhams a day for food and metro.
What happened, just like I came here, I had a couple of thousand of dollars, which I spent in 3 days or 5 days maximum.
Where did you spend it?
Seeing places, partying, like Dubai is an expensive place. Come on, I wasn't used to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what happened with me that I had nothing left. I didn't have any cash left, and all what I had was an iPhone 5. So I went and I sold it for $100. Was what, like 360 dirhams. So I owed someone 60 dirhams. I gave it back, and I was left with 300 dirhams. So I said, like, I need to survive with this money for a month. So I divided 10 dirhams a day. That is should be enough for transportation, which was the metro, and the cheese sandwich from Almaya supermarket. That's it.
You had the cheese sandwich for 1 month.
Yeah.
Have you had that after that?
No,
Never
never.
still.
And I've never been in a metro in my life. Not in Dubai, not outside of Dubai.
And cheese sandwich? Also no.
No.
7 years now. Never forget that taste.
Yeah, no. I don't want that anymore.
Okay. So what I want to check with you, well, when I was reading your story, and now when you're telling it, one quote comes to mind, which is that I think this is a very popular saying in the army as well, where they say that out of 100 men that go to war, 10 of them don't belong at all. 80 of them are just walking targets. 9 of them do most of the fighting, but one is a warrior. And it feels like you're the warrior in this story out of 100 people because you've done so much. We haven't really got into it, but the kind of where you are today and from where you started from is humongous, I feel. And it would take lifetimes of people to actually achieve what you've achieved. Even just moving to Dubai itself would have been a big feat, depending on where you came from. Am I saying the right things?
Yeah, yeah.
It's because I find it a bit. It is a bitter irony in this is that so I've also had the privilege of working with a lot of Lebanese people here, and there's a big presence in the Middle East and then also all around the world. And for a lot of them, they say that moving back to Beirut now, moving back to Lebanon is not an option anymore. And it feels a bit sad. And I can relate in a way because I'm also an expat, but the situation in India is not as bad. So it just, I mean, it feels like then you will always be a tourist in the world. You know, the home, the country that you call home, you cannot really return to. And the irony is that you are selling homes and you're creating homes for people around here. Is this something you think about?
Let me explain to you why most of the people you know, and including myself, will not see Lebanon as an option that we'll go back to. Because in Lebanon, the issue that you will always be spoiled. Like your mom will take care of your clothes, of your food, of the ironing, of everything until you become, I don't know, 40, 50 years old, you still live with your parents. So there's no this rush that, okay, so now you have to go out and you have to take care of yourself. So you will always be dependent on your parents. In Lebanon, the main issue is that they teach us that we are the best people in the world and we live, and Lebanon is the best country in the world and everything else is just a joke. So when you are living over there, you believe this, and this will not let you grow anywhere because you are feeling like maybe you're descended from the skies, and you're living
Yeah.
in the best place. Why would I even go outside, or why would I even speak another language, or why would I even need to develop myself? I'm the best in the world. My mom tells me that. So Lebanon is a very corrupted place where there is no safety, there is no security, there is no job opportunities, there is nowhere, no one to push you to become a better person, and all of your surrounding has all the same mentality, which is, okay, now we have to go to a good school. After a good school, we have to go to a good university. After a good university, we have to pick up a girl to get married. And be careful, this is not like we have to fall in love to, we have to pick a girl to get married. We have to have a decent job, which can be like $500-600, and we will live decent, and thank God, as long as we can eat, happy days, that's it. And down the line, okay, this is where comes like when people hit their 40s, they start seeing this massive cases of divorce we're having, and lots of people are unhappy. So the mentality is like work all week, party in the weekend, okay, start again on Monday. That's it. And maybe down the line in a year or two, if you can take a week vacation, you can travel, see someone else. But even on your travels, you will always be comparing the country that you went to, that, oh, in Lebanon we have it better. You know what I mean? So this kind of superiority is a nonsense. And that's why when you leave the country and you were like, oh wow, Lebanon wasn't the best country in the world. And the Lebanese people that they're thinking that they're the best in the world, they're not. And you start talking here to, like, I love Dubai. Why? Because minimum I've interacted with 150 nationalities. So when you talk to different people, you hear their stories, their background, where they come from, how they do stuff. It opens your mind. And Dubai is a place that forces you to work on yourself, to become better and better. Because end of the day, if you don't become better, you're the one losing. No one cares. Either you want to become a better person and keep up, or that's your fault. So that's why coming back there, it's something that I feel stranger in Lebanon. Like now, Lebanon for me, it's not my home. When I go there, I feel a total stranger. And when I speak to my friends, we don't have much common points to speak about. Like, for example, if I tell them what I'm doing in Dubai, for them, they're not understanding me. Or in their mind, they were like, oh, like this guy maybe 7, 8 years back, like was one of us. Now he's thinking he went outside. He's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when they want to tell me their stories, it's still the same stories where I left them 7 years back. So nothing changed. Okay. So that's what I'm telling you. So for me, yeah, of course, it's not an option to go back there at all. It's not somewhere even to retire. I'm just very grateful for everything I had to go through in that country, whether they were positive or negative. But whatever happened to me led me to where I am today. So I'm grateful for the country, but I don't see myself going back there.
It is. It is a very tough situation to be in for a lot of people to not have your homeland be an option anymore. I want to touch upon this. So you were also living that life in Beirut where you were working the whole week, partying in the weekend, and then you got an opportunity to move to the States to become a restaurant manager. And then while you were visiting Dubai, visiting your uncle, you had this gut instinct or you had this intuition that you have to stay back in Dubai and you have to do something here.
It was the second I reached Sheikh Zayed Road. It was 11:30 p.m. and when I saw these massive buildings, I don't know, I was fascinated. I was like, wow, that's beautiful. It was October, it was 23rd of October 2014. Okay, and we went to the house. All of the family was sleeping. I couldn't see anyone. The next day, we saw them and we went to the beach. And I will never forget it. I stepped in the beach 24th of October and the water was warm. And I'm like, wow. I've never seen a warm beach, by the way. Always the beach is like cool in a way. It's not
Okay.
cold, but it's cool. But 24th of October, which is freezing everywhere else, and the beach here was warm. I'm like, wow. And I was on Kite Beach and I started seeing these people, how relaxed they are, playing volleyball, doing the surfing, doing all of the stuff. So even here, I didn't hear a car honking. But back
Yeah.
then, this is something you hear every 10 seconds. So I was seeing the different stuff and I was getting this mixed emotions where like, is this where I want to be? Yes. Something is telling me, yeah, I was scared, but at the same time, I was anxious, excited. So I had this, but back then, I didn't have anything. I didn't come here for a job interview. I didn't come for anything. I was just in here. But when I saw the city, I fell in love with it. And yeah, something told me you have to stay in here. That's where you're going to create a career.
What is it about Sheikh Zayed Road? So in a previous episode as well, I discussed this. So I've pretty much gone to school here. I've grown up in my teenage years here, but every single time that I drive on Sheikh Zayed Road, I'm still filled with awe.
Magical.
You would imagine that someone who stayed here for now 15 years, 14 years, it will get boring after a while, but it doesn't. And the thing is, whenever I'm traveling, so I stay in Motor City, so whenever I'm traveling to that side of Dubai, I have to make a choice between taking Emirates Road, Al Khail, or Sheikh Zayed Road. And I don't take Sheikh Zayed Road if I'm not feeling it. It has to be a special moment. Either has to be late night when the road is relatively empty. I put my music on, and then that is like my moment with like my city, and that's the moment for me to fall in love with everything it's achieved so far. Because what Dubai has done has been incredible in comparison to other cities, and it just when you're on that road, you see it. You see the human ambition play. You see inspiration, and man, Sheikh Zayed Road still to date never get bored of it. Is that the same kind of feeling you
Of
got?
course. Even the city, I never get bored of it. I tell you what, I get bored of the daily routine that comes to me, which is like, I don't know, answering 100 calls, answering 50 emails, WhatsApp, all of this stuff. Because in our industry, unfortunately, we have no break. Not a Friday, not Christmas, not a New Year, not nothing. It's like every day we're working round the clock. People usually leave work at 6. I keep working till midnight because midnight for me, it's 8 p.m. in Europe. They just went back home and they want to discuss business. You know what I mean? Even like on Fridays, people don't know that Fridays, it's a day off. People keep talking to me and I cannot not answer. There is no way, you know what I mean? Because I can do it, but eventually I'm losing lots of potential business coming. So you always have to be active. The way I call it is like we're the doctors, you know, like we're 24/7 on the clock
Yeah.
for the real estate industry. So yeah, I feel sometimes like I just need a break for 3 4 days. I don't want to speak to anyone, which I take a flight, I'll go somewhere. But believe me, on the third or on the fourth day, something's telling me, come on, I miss Dubai, go back to Dubai. And once I reach the airport and the doors of the airport opens up and it's like, I'm home. Seriously, it's something weird. So every 90 days, I feel that's it. I need a break. I cannot take it anymore. But once I take the break, I just want to come back to Dubai. Something weird. I cannot explain it.
I want to touch upon this. You've always had a good intuition or good instinct. So, which is when you moved to Dubai, you knew this is the place. And even in the past, when you were in Beirut, you've mentioned that if you were hanging out with certain people, you could always gauge when the situation is going to go bad, and then you would leave before it got really bad. So, I want to check with you. Why do you think this intuition of yours, this instinct, do you think it came naturally to you, or
I
is it
think so, yeah.
all natural,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
because of your
yeah.
circumstance or because
No, I don't know. I cannot explain it, but I'll tell you something. It's like sometimes contracts come to me and they look wonderful and everything is fine and everything is good. For some reason, I say, you know what, I'm not gonna take this business onwards.
Yeah.
And even the guy was like, why? Do you need to change everything? I'm like, no, everything is perfect, but I cannot take it. I'm not feeling it. And then a week later, I hear that this company trade license got blocked, bank account got blocked, something happened. Happened to me lots of times.
how do you know?
I don't know. I have this feeling. This feeling tells me either do or do not. To be very honest with you.
If anyone's listening, you can hire this psychic
No, I'm
powers.
not. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not this stuff. But yeah, I always follow this sound in my head or this feeling. I feel something get very hot in this side, my left arm, and that's it. I cannot explain it.
Do you think you have this very heightened sense of what's going to go wrong because of the childhood you saw? Because you saw so many things happening.
Maybe it was in me. I never knew about it, and I've never think about it, to be very honest with you, because once you start thinking about stuff like that, it messes with your head.
I don't know. Keep it.
So I take life easy, do the life perfectly, but always when I have this hunch, I follow it, no matter what.
Right. So when you walk into a room, let's say you're going to meet a client for the first time, what are the things that you're trying to gauge? What information are you trying to see that might help you in making a decision?
It's like, first of all, I can feel the energy. I can feel if this is a positive place or it's a negative place. What I do, because I've been blessed and my second major was psychology, I can read body language. I can tell immediately if this is person like is wants to do business, he's trying to suck information from me, what's his intent behind this meeting. So I can always feel it. And of course, I go technical by me verifying this person, asking the right questions, also getting the most information out of him. So I can say, like, this is a potential opportunity or it was just a meeting and the coffee.
Just like that.
Yeah.
So speaking of clients, when you're trying to gauge something, maybe your client is trying to get information out of you or something of that sort. What's the worst interaction you've had with a client?
I had lots of experiences, but what's the worst one? It was last year. Cannot remember if it was in November 19 or just February 2020, because in these 2 dates I had road shows in London, and I remember that I met this client. She was so arrogant. Like, you can tell that she's a nouveau riche. Like, she just made the money. Like, you can tell there is no class behind it. There's nothing behind it. She was so arrogant, like frosted with diamonds and gold. And the way she speaks to people was really like, I didn't like it at all. And it reached a point where I told her, because I was sitting myself with her and her sister, and we were in one of the biggest developers in the country, and we had also a salesperson from the developer. And the way she was talking to him, not to me personally, but to him, you feel like It was a disgrace. It wasn't proper, you know. So I reached a point where I told her, like, listen, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care who you are or who you come from. In here, you speak with respect to get the respect back. And if you cannot, you've seen the main door. And it was a moment of like 30 seconds, her and her sister, without any word. And then she looked at me and she was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna change my way I'm talking. Like, not before you apologize to this person. And then she told me, like, I am here to buy $50 million. I don't need to apologize to anyone. And then I told her, okay, that's fine. That's where the meeting ends in here. Thank you for coming. Yeah. And then she came back and she bought for 50 million. And I didn't even blink.
Right.
Because I'm telling you something. Money is something we all work for, but we're not slaves of money. When I'm coming myself, I'm coming here, give you my time, which is my most valuable asset. It's my time. Also, I'm using the help of someone from here to help you. The least you can do, just speak to respect. Because money doesn't give you a status or doesn't give you any authority for you to disrespect any person, especially that you haven't got any disrespect from our side. So I think this was like one of the worst experiences.
Do you think in general, there's a lack of respect for salesmen, and it's always viewed with this kind of sales.
There is a hate,
Yeah.
for sure, and I do understand it because myself, I'm an investor as well, and myself, I go to portals and make inquiries, and once I make the inquiries, I do understand why people hate salesmen, and because I'll tell you something, and this is actually my mission, changing the image of this proper profession. The problem that we have in here, that most of the salespeople who are in this industry, let's talk about real estate. Let's not keep it in general. Let's talk about real estate. They jump to real estate because they have heard the story that some guy came to real estate and he sold a building or a villa or a plot or whatever, and he make lots of money, and it's a very fun job, and you don't have to put in the hours, and you don't have to do anything, and you will make money. So they jump into it, and that's where the ugly reality hits. It's not like that. Real estate it's a minimum 16 hours of work every day, and it's work with clients, it's work on your own knowledge, it's work on your own social media, it's work on everything. So when you come in and you try to put, let's say you want to work from 12 to 3 p.m. and that's it, doesn't work. So what people do, they start being pushy. Like, from me and you, without knowing each other, I'll speak to you 15 seconds. I know if you are a buyer or you're just wandering in the market, or you might buy in 6 months, or you need to buy in 1 year. But this person doesn't know. He gonna keep calling you, messaging you. He's gonna harass you. He's gonna even follow your Instagram stories and see where you are having dinner. He will come to your table. Of course, you're gonna hate him, man. This is annoying. This is not what you wanted. So that's why, as you said before, the example about the warriors, the 100 warriors in this industry, there is 20% that they know what they are doing, and there's 80% that have no idea what's happening out of the 8,000 agents that we have in the city.
Do you think, or let me phrase it differently, how do you handle rejection from clients? And you've spoken in the past, when you were in your first month in Dubai, when you were surviving on 10 dirhams a month, you used to walk a lot of distances,
Yeah.
carry 2 shirts because you will sweat so much, and then change it over there. And a lot of times the client doesn't show up. He just says, oh, I can't make it. And then you do walk back again, having not met the client. In general, in sales, I feel there's a very high amount of rejection every day. You might face less because you're very good at it, but the rest of us, we might get a lot of rejection on a daily basis. How do you deal with that?
Listen, back then, why did I face lots of rejection? Because I didn't know what qualifying a client is. I didn't know. I didn't have the knowledge that I have today when it comes to um, the market analysis, the history of the city. I didn't know the tone of the people. What does it mean? If, like, lots of people tell you, yes, I'm gonna meet you, but it's a definite no. But back then, for me, yes, it was, yay, I got a meeting. So that's why I used to have all of these issues, and Back then, if you ask me how I used to handle it, it was sad. It was tiring. It was, I'm looking at the skies and I'm saying, why? Like, what did I ever do in my life to deserve this? But I'll tell you what happened to me. I lived all of my life. By the way, back home, I was living very good. I had the cars, I had the lifestyle, the clothes, everything, but I had no future or a career. So for me, letting everything go, especially my comfort zone, my mother, my friends, my family, my everything, it was very tough. But what happened when I came in here, and every day I had the devil's sound which was telling me, you're better than that. You don't need to live like that. Go back home. At least your food is secured, everything is secured, and you can make it again back home. So I was having this daily battle that, and every day nothing was coming to make it easier for me. It was harder. People were talking to me with, yeah, lots of disrespect. I was getting phone hang up in my face. I was getting it all. uh, but I said, I'm never going back there. I am here. I need to count on myself. I'm not asking no one for help, and I'm gonna make it no matter what.
In general, I think being in sales can be a very humbling experience because every single day, no matter how big you get, there might be one client who will just reject you, and once again, you feel like, oh, you're not good enough, or you're not able to
Listen, the
close.
rejection comes for a reason. Let me tell you something. There is sales and there is solving problems. If you see this industry as I am selling a house, yeah, you can fail 50%, you can succeed 50%. If you are here to solve a problem, you will succeed 100%. And if you do it not caring for your commission,
Yeah.
nothing can stop you. 2014, 15, and 16, I was answering every phone call, helping everyone and every just on the phone without meeting them. And I've never got anything out of it. But guess what? These people know people that they wanted to buy or to sell or to flip or to get the finance. They remembered me. Or like, that's a good guy. He will help you. He's professional. And I got this business. So you need to just be a person who wants to solve problems to people. Why people want to buy property in here? Europeans, they're avoiding taxes. It's very obvious. Okay. Some other people, let's say if you are from an Arabic country like Lebanon or Iraq or Syria or all these places where you see wars right now, you're going for a second home. You know, this year, what I was selling this year, I didn't even was I was feeling noble doing this because I don't know if you know the situation in Lebanon where the banks has frozen all of the money of the people. No one can take a dirham out or a dollar or a lira. So it was shocking for everyone. And so what we have done in here, we have signed up with multiple developers that we allowed people to pay manager's check in Lebanon, but obtaining a property in Dubai. When we started calling them, giving them the service, they were like, oh, they're scammers, that cannot be right. And then until they start seeing people doing it. So I'm telling you, the amount that I spent over the phone, it was that month's May and April. My screening time was 22 hours a day. Okay, that's between calls, WhatsApp, emails, and stuff. And every person I was talking to, he was breaking my heart by telling me I've been working for 15 years, 20 years just to save this capital for my kids. And now they took it all out of me and I can barely buy food. So by me solving his problem to him, he's obtaining a property in Dubai, he's getting money from the rental or even selling the property again in Dubai and giving him cash. This is nobility, man. It's not I'm doing a sale here. I'm here to change his life. He got screwed from a government and I'm here to change it. So yeah, it gave me an amazing satisfaction. Just for mothers or grandmothers telling me God bless you, you know, it makes you happy.
It's beyond a job now.
Yeah, yeah, it's not I'm telling you, it's not the sale. For me, it's not the sale at all.
So this is a great segue. I want to play a game with you, which is a sales game where I have taken down all these sales hacks and tips and techniques that you find in books and online. And I'm going to check all these ideas with you, and you can let me know what works, what doesn't work, what is good, what you use, maybe you don't use. Okay. So the first one is exactly what you just said, which is something Simon Sinek said, that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And it's more about appealing to people's emotions or what they believe in rather than selling a product. So is this something you clearly
Of
believe
course,
in this? Yeah.
all of this and every sales happens is based on an emotion experience. That's it. Okay. So it's gonna be, let's say, same client. You can take him, I can take him, and let's say another guy can take him. You and me, we might fail because we cannot connect it to him emotionally. We didn't give him the feeling. That guy did, he got the sale. So, yes, and especially this happens not when you're talking to investors. Investors has no heart, no feelings. They're ruthless. They don't care.
No emotions.
Investors is purely numbers. They were like, I'll give you 1 million. I want 8-9% per year. Can you do that? Yes. Okay. Sign the papers without seeing the property. I can sell him a garbage bin. I promise you. But if he's making 10-12%, he's happy. Yeah. And I'm guilty myself as well, because some of the investments I do, I never look at the properties. I buy the numbers. It's a game of numbers. When it comes to families, when you have a wife involved, don't look at the husband, focus on the wife. Because once the wife says yes, there's no way he's sleeping in the night until he gets her the house. So you understand. And the wife, what does she want? What does women want? Nice kitchen, nice living area where she can invite her friends and have good time, and nice backyard if she wants a villa, or a nice view if she wants an apartment, beach or golf course or whatever it is. So in here it plays a lot on the emotions, where you wanna, it's like you wanna make her feel like this is the corner where you're gonna be having the best memories of your kids. That's where you're gonna be having the pictures, this stuff. So yes, it plays an amazing role.
Play into the emotions. Okay, so this one clearly works.
Yeah.
Second technique is called priming, and this is New York City agents are very notorious for doing this, where they, if they're showing you 3 listings in a day, the first one they show you a very terrible one, very expensive. Second one they show you is also terrible, slightly less expensive. The third one they deliberately show you a good one, and then they give you a price that's above the market price. And because you've seen all these previous ones that are so bad, you are like, oh, this is the only good one left, and this is the price. Okay, I'll pay slightly higher and I'll get it. Is this a technique that would work?
It will not work in Dubai for 2 reasons. Number one, we have more supply than New York. And in New York, how it goes is like an agent, when he deals on a listing, it's an exclusive listing. It's only for him. He's the only one who can play with it. While in here, a landlord can give his listing to 100 agents, and whoever gets him the best check, he will close the deal. So the way what I do is like, always when I get a referral, for example, or when I speak to someone on the phone, is like, okay, let's meet up for a coffee. We go over there, introduce myself, what I do, and I start talking to them. Why you wanna buy? And what's your preferred, like I try to know like at least a location, what they have seen in Dubai before. Once I see it, I take them straight away for the property that I know is gonna be a bingo. That's the requirement. Why do I need to run 2, 3, 4 properties? You know what I mean? Because down the line, once you meet with the people, that's your window. You are in front of them. You are in control. You're taking charge from the hello until pleasure meeting you. Let me see your autograph. Once you leave them, let's say, if they are in their own car, you are in a different car, any word a husband or a wife can say can change the mentality. She can tell him, maybe we're rushing, let's hold on. So the way you do it is like, go for the kill. You have the opportunity, give them the requirement. Because also sometimes the more you show them property, it will show that you are just showing them what you have in terms of listing, not their requirement, what can put you down.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, so this one doesn't work.
No.
Next one is, this one is called anchoring, where if someone asks you to give a price or give a quote, some people would, and there's a study that was done, that if you give a very high price, insane price, that is not realistic at all, you can still bargain down to a price that is above average. And instead of, let's say, if I told you the pen is $100, you think that's impossible. No pen is $100. I might still sell you that pen for $5. Otherwise, if I had originally told you this is $2, you might have brought it down to $1, which had been a very below average price. Is this some technique that works?
Tell you what I do. I don't play with market evaluation. The way what I do it, there is something we call the CMA, which is the market analysis. Okay, so what we do, for example, let's say you want to buy a property, for example, let's say City Walk. Okay, so City Walk has been handed over for like 2 3 years before. So what I do is like I will show you the record. What was this developer selling of plan? What happened in the first year of handover, second, third, and fourth? These are the prices ranging with the charts, and it's coming from Dubai Land Department. It's not me that decided to
Yeah.
to do it on a PowerPoint.
Yes,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Also, what happened in terms of rentals. So you can see, in case you are a buyer, you want to lease your property, you can expect the return from knowing the rental. So when I come to you and tell you that's the average price per square feet in this area, if you tell me I'm happy with it, what do? I go to landlords and start getting them the stock which is below the average. Okay, so this guy is happy, let's say, with 1,500 dirhams per square feet. It's not the case, but I'm telling you for example. Okay, so if I got him 1,300 dirhams per square feet, I combine somewhere in between where the seller is happy and the buyer is happy, and I do the same. But I don't just come and inflate the prices because, as I told you, it's a very small city. Yeah. The information are everywhere. If I come to you and I tell you it's 2,000 dirhams per square feet, and you know it's 1,500, you were like, Anthony is a crook, block his number. I'm not answering him.
Okay, doesn't work. Out of the way. Okay, next technique. This is something I think I've seen real estate agents use quite often is scarcity. So when you're showing someone a property, you say things like, there's another family looking at it, or this might get closed in 2 weeks. So put that fear of losing out in people. Is this something that would work?
This is not fear. This is what we call create urgency. Yeah. Yes, do work, but do it when it's right. Like at lots of time it happens where seriously I meet people on Wednesday and they were like, we're gonna think about it on Sunday. I'm like, listen, I have no problem. Just to let you know that a guy on Monday came and he said the same, and I feel he's very serious. I'm just informing you this not to push you, but to let you know maybe by the time that Sunday you will come, this property will not be available. So what will be your second option that you might go to? I leave it like
Very
that.
nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Honest.
Yeah.
But,
It's like this guy might transact it tomorrow or the day after. So if you come back to me Sunday, I told you it's sold, you cannot blame me. I informed you. There is someone else looking. However, if it's gone, what will be the second option that you would like to see?
Yeah. So when I was researching for this, I found that there are some agents who double book the property viewing at the same time. So when you're showing the property to someone, another agent might come in with someone else to just create that sense of urgency.
Yeah, I don't see it as professional at all, and it can fire back at you. I'll tell you why. Because let's say you're checking a 2 bedroom apartment. For example, let's say in JBR, and you and your wife and another couple. So your wife loves the kitchen, and his wife says the kitchen is very old. You know, I feel there's something rotten. I don't like this apartment. It messed everything. So it's not smart at all, and this shouldn't be done. Because today, why you are taking an appointment? Because I'm giving you the slot between 3 and 4 p.m. If you're gonna be there and lots of people coming in and out like a supermarket, why you're taking an appointment? Come on your convenience.
Yeah.
So it's not smart at all.
Okay, not working as well.
No.
Okay, next one is making the client make a commitment. So making the client admit something like, oh, I like golf, I like balconies. And then because people always have to be consistent with what they have already set out, you can play on that. So you can say, oh, this listing is next to the golf course, so this has a nice balcony. Remember when you said that? And play on that desire for people to always come across very consistent. Is this something that might work?
It goes back to qualifying the client.
Right.
Okay, because people, Europeans mainly, they want to buy beachfront properties. They're sick and tired from the snow and the cold. They want to be on the beach. It's very easy. You don't even need to ask him. You'll know he wants a beachfront property. It's super easy. When it comes to families, and let's say the husband is anywhere between 50 and onwards, 50 years old, okay? Most of them, yes, they like golf, they like riding horses, they like certain activities, they like, these cards games. They have this certain requirements. So, yeah, once you ask him and tells you, yes, I like that, then you tell him, great, now you help me filter out the three best location when it comes to golf. And what are they? They are, you have the one on Sheikh Zayed, the golf place, which is belongs to Emar. You also have the second one, which is Dubai Hills Estate by Emar, and the third one you have it. It's Damak Hills. It's the Trump International Golf Course. Okay, so between the hills and Dubai Hills Estate and Damak Hills, that's it. You covered the three areas that there is beautiful golf courses. Now the question, you want to be in a townhouse or you want to be in a villa? Most people don't know the difference because they look the same. So a villa is where you have your own independent plot, and townhouse, it comes like a row of 4, 6, or 8 next to each other. You will understand it. Once you filter all of this out, it's just selecting the property which is still missing, which is the easiest part.
Right, right. Okay, so this makes sense. This
Yeah.
one wins it. Okay, next one is we've already covered a part of it where you said how a person looks and need to look good, need to impress someone, and people give you more respect. So it is a question of how do you come. So let's say you're dealing with a client, you need to come across someone who knows what he's doing, but you also need to be at a level where you're giving, maybe authority is the wrong word, but maybe control to the client more, where you make them feel like they're the ones who are making the choice, but in fact you are guiding them in that sense. Is that a
That's
tough thing to do?
exactly what, no, it's exactly what happened. Because why they're coming to you? Because you're the specialist. You have the info, you have the track record, and you can fulfill the requirement. So once you are in the meeting, why I tell you lead the meeting, and this can play different role between investors and users, and also sellers and buyers. Each one has something different. Okay, so you gave him all of the information. Whether he wants to sell his property, you've been telling him what's been transacting and what you foreseen for the next 6 months. If he wants to buy, you gave him everything, fulfilled all of his requirement. Now he has to put his payment. And you cannot just leave it. Like, you need to ask for it eventually. You cannot just, okay, I giving you everything and I want you to go think about it for the next 3-4 days and then call me back, which will never happen because anything can happen. In Dubai, as I said, we have lots of philosophers, and that speaks about real estate, that they've never worked in real estate. They don't know anything. They will just tell you the market is going down, the market is gray area, and these people can get in the minds of the actual buyers by, because this guy can tell him, don't buy, man, you will losing your money, keep it with you. I know a friend who lost money 10 years ago. This can put him off. And I had lots of cases like that where a buyer tells me, you know what, my friend told me it's not something smart. I'm like, great, what does your friend do? He works in a mall. Oh, really? What does he do? So he sells clothes. Oh, great. So he has no real estate background, no financing background, no anything related to this industry, but he's the advisor who's telling you don't buy. Let's be real.
Yeah. Do you have like any mental exercise or something you prepare? So are you always this confident in life, or is there something you have to get into, like a zone you have to get into?
Um, I've been running a lot in my life, which I also exhausted my body, my mind, my soul, and I reached a point where it's like, okay, you made all of this. Now what? What's the purpose of life?
Yeah.
Then I learned how to balance it out in a way where it's not even a balance. I'm still exhausting my body, but at least I'm giving it time to relax. So I have 2 timings per day, which is immediately when I wake up in the morning, I have my black coffee and I run to the gym, which I spend anywhere between an hour to 2 hours. Then I go back home, shower, suit up, and go to work. This hour or two, it cleanses me. And because in this time, I don't think about work at all. I'm just thinking about like how I need to refresh my thoughts, my body. And then usually between 7 to 8 p.m., I take a bicycle. I ride a bicycle for an hour or hour and a half where I don't even look at my phone. I don't know what's happening in the outside world. It's my time to just like meditate. I don't do yoga, I don't do all of the stuff, but this is my way of me relaxing and yeah, taking a break.
This is a form of meditation
Yeah,
in a way. Yeah. One thing that worked for me, I don't know where I read this in a book, was if you're waiting for an interview or waiting for a meeting or presentation, you're very nervous. People tend to cross their arms or like go across their legs and become like, it feels like you don't like the environment, so you're trying to find comfort within yourself. And one of the tips in the book was that just sit and wait like you own the place, you know. So like it's with your legs spread out, hands spread out, and feel like you own that space. And even if you don't, it will give you that false sense of confidence that you actually can do it, and that has helped me a bit in life. Is this something
that's
you?
how I got my job.
Oh, right.
I had maybe back then like I don't know, $30 maximum. I was wearing just a regular shirt, jeans, and the guy who was interviewing me, he was so mean. I will never forget this guy, man. Like I just came in, he looked at me like I'm some kind of, I don't know, garbage bag, you know, opened the drawer, took out more than 100 CVs and threw it on the table. It was like boom. It was like everyone applied. I've never taken anyone. Why shall I take you? And I'm like, because he pissed me off. I told him, because you need me more than I need you. And then he looked at me and was like, okay, I like that. Keep going. So in here, I spoken with him. And after 10 minutes, he looked at me and was like, you know what? I like you. Come start Sunday. I told him, okay, thanks. I turned my face. I left the building. I remember I sat on the stairs and my tears was dropping. It was like, I got the job where I wanted, okay? And because I was such in an offensive mood and he pissed me off a lot, you know, my tears were falling from my face. I was crying. Yeah, and I just gave him the answers like, you need me more than I need you. And actually, I needed him more and I needed oxygen. But yeah, when you do stuff like that, yeah.
Final one in this game is, this is something that used to happen very often when the real estate ads used to come out in the newspapers, where realtors have a specific dictionary. When they write cozy, they mean small, or vintage, so they mean really old, or house has a great view means that the house is average. Is this something that still happens?
You know, we are in the era where seeing is believing. Okay, so copywriting is very important in our industry, but nowadays people don't like to read, they like to see.
Yeah.
And so your listings basically is when you put the actual pictures of the listings. This is what will attract people. And also this method, I think now it's dying because people are more into seeing a video, not to seeing actual pictures.
360 tour.
Yeah, and that's why we see now most of the portals are using the 360 tours, doing the videos, doing the virtual tours. So I think that method doesn't work at all because no one, I don't even know anyone who buys a newspaper, to be very honest with you, or list on a newspaper. It's mainly in portals, seeing videos through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Okay, this doesn't work clearly.
No.
All right, so that ends the game. Before we start wrapping up, I have few questions. So you are an investor as well, and you've largely invested in real estate. Why do you think real estate stands out as a solid form of investment in comparison to other forms of investment?
You know, like if you look and if you Google now the top billionaires of the world, you will see that 88% has done their money through real estate, and the remaining 12% is between IT and different industry. Real estate is an asset that it will never dies. Population is growing. People need places to live in. You know what I mean? So real estate is somewhere where you put your money, you generate an income, and you get capital gains where you can flip this property later on and make more money. So it's what we call the financial freedom. So the more you invest now, you're rewarding your future person. So if you invest by 20, by 40, you're set, and it's never too late. But it's always yesterday is better than tomorrow. If I invested yesterday, it's better than tomorrow. I'm sure you have, you know tons of people that will tell you, oh, I wish I invested 10 years back where the prices were different. I would have made half a million, million, 2 million, whatever it is.
But they were told back then that real estate is bad investment.
Yeah, it's bad. I'll tell you how it's bad investment. So that's the mentality where, let's go back when I told you about Lebanon, and lots of countries are also doing the same mistake, where they will tell you, okay, when you say you have a decent job, go buy a house and take a mortgage for 30 years, let's say 25 years to 30 years, and you will be living all of your life to pay off the mortgage. And by the time you're 60, 65, you finished your mortgage. And what did you do with this money? Nothing. You just put it in the house that you have to stay in the house. If you want to flip it, you have nowhere to stay unless if you want to downgrade. So this is not smart. But what's smart by you putting your eggs everywhere, like by buying multiple smaller units, generating income from it, and from that income you can get yourself the primary house that you want to live in it. So you need assets to be paying off. And if you read the book of what's it called, like the Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he will show you like the difference between the assets and the liability. And this is also what happens in our generation, where once someone has, let's say, $100,000, he will go buy a Range or any kind of cars, which it will be depreciating and eventually you lost all of their money. While when you invest this money and you're having your income coming monthly, from this income, you can spend it. Why? Because next month's money is coming and after it. So building assets is super important in our life.
Make your money work for you.
Exactly.
Why do you think Dubai is a good place to invest in real estate?
Dubai offers lots of stuff. First of all, as I told you, the income that you will get from renting your property is extremely high comparing to the major cities of the world. In Dubai also, we don't have VAT on properties. You don't have tax. So the money that you're putting is net to yourself. And it's very easy to enter the market. You can enter the market as low as $60,000. You don't see this in major cities in the world. So also like Dubai, as I told you, it offers you the safety. The weather is beautiful all year long. The location of UAE and the world map is amazing because no matter where you are, it's a hub, yeah, and it's a business hub. So I can say Dubai is a safe haven for everyone to invest, and to start building the portfolio.
Amazing. Okay, so before we start wrapping up, I'd love for you to interpret what I've built with the Lego, because I don't think
I didn't build anything.
So what do you think I've built here?
This looks like a bridge.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, floating bridge.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think this is? Oops, sorry. This.
Building in the park.
Oh, yeah, real estate.
That's
Yeah.
how I see it. Yeah.
What about this? Looks like a roundabout to me, actually.
I don't know. It looks also, this spinning wheel that we used to sit on it that has the seas and
yeah,
yeah, it looks like it.
I didn't like it. It used to make me dizzy.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so let's start with our final three questions. So the first one is, what are some books, movies, people that have been very strong influences in your life?
My role model is Grant Cardone. Yeah, and we never got to this part. We didn't speak about it, but when I came here and I started everything, working and stuff. So let's say after 5-6 months where I started making like actual commissions, I lived in a place, and I was always online, trying to see what other agents in the world are doing and how they conduct business and how I can replicate it to Dubai. And that's where the first time when I saw a video for Grant Cardone, and I love his style. He's so aggressive, he's straight to the point, and I'm like, that's me. So I related to this person. I kept following him, whatever he was saying. I even enrolled to his online university, which was really a major player in my life. And I met the guy in Dubai. I met him in 2019. He was here for 3 days. and there was 6 invites, and I was lucky enough to be one of these
What
people.
was he like?
Same what you see him online. Same person, straight to the point. He even asked me, he was like, he not asked me, he asked all of us. He's like, guys, you hate me or you love me? Look at him, I'm like, man, I cannot imagine people hate you. He was like, lots of people hate
They
me.
do, because he's got a rivalry with this Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street guy.
It's not a rivalry. With him, what he's saying, listen, Jordan Belfort is an amazing salesperson. Also, if you follow his YouTube page, he has a podcast as well. He talks lots of sense. What Grant always keeps saying, that this guy made his money as a felon. He fooled people to make money. So for him, this is not noble. And we can all agree on this point, and we can all agree that even Jordan himself said it, like, I did wrong, and now I'm spending the rest of my life doing the right thing by teaching people how to do sales, but pick a proper product, not sell the stocks that he was doing back then. No, people, I'll tell you why they hate him, because he's someone that people cannot reach. Like, this guy has no limit. If you look at his story, he used to be a junkie. He was kicked out from school. He was a disappointment to his family. No one believed in him, and eventually he was like, I have nothing to lose, I will make it. So this person has played a huge role in my life. I read his books. His books are okay. They're nice. I see always what he's doing. I even follow his investment capital, the one he's doing in Miami, and it's growing like wildfire now. So that's like a character that really. This is my role model. The snake character. This is my role model. When it comes to other people, I don't have someone I can think about, but I can always grab from people. Like, there's a guy. His name is Les Brown. Uh, He's like almost 62, 63, but he's one also of the main people in sales. Gary V, I like his stuff. He has a different approach. He has his niche where he's concentrating on, I don't know, kids between, let's say, 15 to 25, where they are super lost and how to find their passion. So there's lots of people that influenced my life. When it comes to books, I read a lot. I read a lot. I cannot tell you that there's one book that has the magic formula, but one of the books that was the opener for me was Rich Dad Poor Dad, Sales Bible, ABC of Real Estate, The Secret of the Wealth of the 1%, Robin Sharma, 5 a.m. Club, Blue Ocean. I read the book recently. It was really nice, like How to Win Friends and Influence People. The Power of Focus, The Power of Habit. Like, all of these books, there's always one chapter or one sentence that will trigger your mind. You already know this information, but once you read it again, it's just something that happens in your mind, and it will lead you to get a new idea or to solve a new problem. Yeah.
That's a great list. Okay. What would you like your legacy to be like? And I ask this question because I know when you were based in Beirut and you had a comfortable life, you moved to US because you had this feeling that there has to be more to life.
Yeah.
So what would you want your legacy to be like?
Something I'm trying to figure it out myself, but I can tell you something. Down the line, you will know that there's a pleasure of giving more than taking. And in order for you to understand this formula, you have to isolate yourself from people, from your surrounding, and then to discover yourself. What I discovered that, yeah, maybe most of my life I was using 1 or 2% of my potential, and I have way more potential. So what I want people to remember me from, that I help a lot when it came to awakening. That no matter what's your religion, what's your race, where you come from, everyone can make it. But what kills us is our society and the people we surround ourselves with. So yeah, I'd like to spread this awakening as much as possible, and to fix problems as many as possible I can do.
That's a great legacy. Last question. What do you think is the meaning of life?
That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. You know, meaning of life. Listen, what I can tell you that now how many are we? 7.9 billion, almost 8 billion on the planet.
I think so.
Removing this few million that passed away in the corona, God rest
Yeah.
their souls.
But Indians are still reproducing, so we're trying to cover.
So what I can tell you that every one of us has a purpose in life. Okay? It's our own responsibility to find it. And once you find it, what's the purpose in life? Do it. Do what makes you happy. Don't be a doctor because your mom told you be a doctor. If you want to be a painter, be a painter. Eventually, the parents, like, they know the basic stuff in life, but they cannot tell you what you should be in life. Do what you love. Help as many as you can. You never know what people are going through on a daily basis. So be kind as much as possible, and make sure before going to bed every night that you did your absolute best, and be grateful for what you have, because tons of people wish to have what you have today.
Beautiful meaning. Anthony, thank you so much. If people want to find you online, in person, where can they find you?
I'm almost everywhere. It's like Anthony Joseph Abu Jaude on LinkedIn. I am on YouTube, Anthony Joseph AJ. I am on Instagram. I have my own website where I have my online academy. People can subscribe to my course and get all of the academic part and rules, regulation, implementation of real estate. I have a book coming very soon in July. It's called Boss Up. And then I have my podcast, Dubai Stars. I'm on Apple Podcast, Spotify, everywhere.
Lots of places to find Anthony. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure being with
Man,
you.
it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.